What's good, people? I thought I was on a break. I guess not. Why is it that whenever I'm on a break, I want to break from this? I don't want to make videos. Blah 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 blah. UFC decides to do some fuck ass bullshit like they just decided to do right now. Listen, it's been like about a day, near about, since the announcement. Why do they hate Arman Sarukin? My question is why. Let's okay. So the basic idea of the situation is Paddy Pimblett versus Justin Gaethje for the interim title at UFC 324 in January for the first numbered event of the Paramount deal. Here's the thing, I don't give a fuck. First of all, that's great matchup. Paddy versus Justin Gaethje should have happened by now. But for the interim fucking belt, while Arman is still around, I understand Oliveira versus Holloway is happening for the BMF belt. So, I mean, it's pretty much confirmed for March. Anyways, it's pretty much nearly confirmed. I think the UFC Brazil account even leaked it, I think. But, or something like that. I heard news about it, something like that. But, yeah, so, but what about Arman, bro? First of all, First of all, there doesn't need to be an interim title. Ilya is going to return halfway in halfway next year, like in the middle of next year. Ilya is going to return in the middle of next year. Why does there need to be an interim title? Listen, I'll tell you why there needs to be an interim title. Now a lot of people saying this and that and that. The whole reason Paddy versus Gaethje is an interim title fight is because they don't have a fight to headline January. Aspinall versus Gane should have been the headliner. They maybe Khamzat could have headlined that event. You know, maybe you could get Poatan in there with Kara Solberg. You know, maybe you could do Volkanovski in January, but obviously they need Volkanovski in February for Australia. Now there's no other option except for these. So everybody's thinking Ilya was, so there's nothing to headline the first numbered event. That's why Paddy versus Gaethje is an interim title bout to just sell the pay-per-view in simple terms. But this is fucking stupid matchmaking. And now while we're on that, what the fuck is Volk versus Lopez too? See, here's the thing. The UFC wants Diego Lopez. They are desperate for Diego Lopez to become a champion. They need a Mexican champion. Yair Rodriguez is not it. Yair Rodriguez loses to fucking 10 people in the division. So they need a Mexican champion. They need a marketable personality. They need a striker. They need somebody like that, a fucking knockout artist at the top of the division. They need somebody like that as champion. That's why they're pushing this whole Diego Lopez thing. Listen, Movsar should have fought Volk when Volk returned when he fought for the vacant title. I thought Movsar should have been fighting. When it got announced that Movsar was fighting Aaron Pico, which got cancelled because Movsar pulled out. I thought Movsar should have been fighting for the title then. And I still think Movsar should be fighting for the title now. And you know what's even more outrageous? Okay, you don't want to give Movsar the title shot. He pulled out of the fight with Aaron Pico, which he shouldn't have had to fight. But now at least give the guy that knocked Aaron Pico out a chance. At least let Lerone Murphy fight. This is a whole different problem. Now, first of all, what the fuck is up with the lightweight division? Ilya's not fighting. Okay. Understandable, he has personal stuff going on. Why is there an interim title? There is an interim title, okay, no problem. Why is Arman not fighting for it? Actually, I'm gonna create a fucking petition so that we boycott this whole shit, because I can't take it anymore, man. These guys are turning into the fucking WWE. That's what the thumbnail of the video is, that the UFC is turning into fucking WWE. Dana White always criticizes boxing. Listen, the Arman thing, Arman beat Oliver, which he really didn't. It was a fucking robbery. But yeah, after he technically beat Oliveira on the scorecards, but he should have been fighting for the title, but Dustin Poirier fought. But that was due to circumstances, and that was 2 months apart. But maybe if the UFC had planned fucking better, Dustin Poirier would not have been fighting for a title with the win off of Saint Denis. Uh, and they could have just made Arman fight for the title little couple months later and stopped Islam. Now 311, Arman's fault, whatnot, blah blah blah. Okay, I get it. Arman blew his back out trying to impress Nina Drama, but how long are we gonna fucking drag it on? 317, it should have been Arman versus Ilya for the lightweight title. What the fuck? Why didn't that happen? Okay, great. Why isn't Arman getting a fight? Arman should have fought by the time 317 took place, and Arman would have been the number one contender. Now, the Gaethje versus Paddy happening is not such a problem. That's a great fight, and Arman should fight Ilya Topuria instead. But the whole problem is that it's an interim title fight, meaning the champion has to fight the interim champion. Now, people aren't even considering if Justin Gaethje wins, because if Gaethje wins, two people already beat him in the division. Two people already beat him, and Arman Sarukian is literally the number one contender. He's the one guy that hasn't beat him is literally the number one contender, and he's getting the title shot before both of these two guys. Before all of these three guys, there are three other guys in the division that are more deserving of an interim title shot than these two fuckers. Anybody but these two motherfuckers could have gotten the interim title shot, but no, it had to be the. First of all, let's start off with Justin Gaethje. What the fuck has Justin Gaethje done? Justin Gaethje has a win over Rafael Fiziev. What the fuck? That was on short notice. Rafael Fiziev is not even in the top 10. I think he's not in the top 10. Paddy Pimblett's best win is Michael Chandler. This guy should have been ranked number 8 below Gamrot, but he somehow climbed up to top 5. He fought his way up. He fought Michael Chandler, then he fought Matej Gamrot, then he beat like a fucking Dariush or something. Listen, dude, that didn't fucking happen. He beat Chandler, and he is now ranked number 5. Some fucking how. That's one piece of bullshit. Second, what the fuck? Arman has fought 2 number 1 contender fights back to back. He should have been next in line. I think what Arman should do is just leave the UFC, go to PFL. The money problem isn't there. For a lot of fighters, PFL won't pay them as much as the UFC. Arman doesn't have that problem. He has fuck ton of money. He can just go to PFL. His life won't fucking change. The reason for that is, if there's a monopoly by the UFC, which there clearly is, there's literally nobody watches the fucking PFL and won championship. Now, UFC is clearly taking advantage of the fucking monopoly that they have. And this is a fucking rant. As for the rest of the 324 card, I think it's awesome. Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes. I'm a little bit hyped for that, really. I'm actually kind of hyped for that. But I do think Kayla Harrison just probably beats the fuck out of Amanda Nunes and then submits her. Probably that's what's gonna happen. But other than that, we got my GOAT, Waldo Cortez Acosta, on the fucking card. Listen, I used to be a fucking hater of Waldo, but now but the problem is he's fighting Derek Lewis. The problem with Derek Lewis is Derek Lewis can fluke a win at any given time. Very dangerous to fight Derek Lewis on short notice. But it's not necessarily short notice, but it's a short period of time to prepare for sure. But I do think Waldo Cortez Acosta just smokes him. Also, there's another crazy fight on the card. Arnold Allen, who has been very inactive against Gene Silva. I think Arnold Allen wins this, and we are all rooting for Arnold Allen. Listen, I don't care the whole fighting nerds plot armor thing. I don't give a fuck. We need Arnold Allen to win. My favorite featherweight is Yusuf Zalal. But after Yusuf Zalal, if there's any other featherweight that I like, it's Arnold Allen. If Arnold Allen and Yusuf Zalal ever had to fight, that would be like my parents getting a divorce and me having to pick a side. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, I'm rooting for Arnold Allen. There's also Umar versus Figueiredo, and I think it's pretty fair that Umar has to fight Figgy because listen, you beat Mario Batista, that's good. Also, there's Sean O'Malley versus Song Yadong, which is I don't necessarily have a problem with it, but it should have been Sean O'Malley versus Corey Sandhagen because that's like a way more interesting matchup. Because even if Song Yadong wins this, now there's a very problematic situation here. If Umar beats Figueiredo and Song Yadong beats Sean O'Malley, who gets the title shot? Now my brain says Umar has already lost, and it hasn't. Umar has already lost to Mirab. Now, if the Davis and Figueiredo fight wasn't booked, you could make the argument that he has only beat Mario Batista. Song Yadong should get the title fight, but now he has a 2-fight win streak. He has beat Mario Batista and Davis and Figueiredo. And if Song Yadong goes out there and beats Sean O'Malley, what the fuck do you do with the title? See, this is what I mean. UFC does no fucking planning. They have no idea what they're doing. The matchmakers are fucking brain dead incels, and I'm not gonna listen. I'm gonna make a petition where to boycott the main event of 324, Paddy versus Gaethje. We will not watch that. If you want to watch it, stream it illegally. Straight up, just straight up, stream it illegally. Even if you have Paramount Plus, like watch the whole event. Then, even if you have Paramount Plus, watch the whole event, and then go to the fucking Stream East, go to fucking Stream East, and stream it illegally. Because, like, how long are we gonna deal with this bullshit? Because first, like, there are undeserved title shots, and then there's Gaethje versus Paddy for the interim belt. So where does Arman stand in all of this? I don't fucking know. Now Ilya's gonna return mid next year. Now if Ilya fights one of these guys, he's probably not gonna fight again the rest of the year. So what the fuck should Arman do? Should this guy just go 1 year without fighting and then fight Ilya next year? Now Arman is essentially fucked over by the UFC. Now I think what Arman should do is he should go to the PFL. He should fucking leave the UFC, and the whole marketing from PFL should be: we have Francis Ngannou, we have Arman Sarukian. These are the best of the best. The UFC does not have the best people. Now, here's the thing, and the PFL also needs to get Muhammad Mukayev, and they can just say these guys can compete with UFC champions, but they don't have them because boo-hoo, fuck you. Listen, as long as this whole thing goes on, it's gonna be problematic. I think everyone's pissed off at the fact, except for fucking Bedtime, which I saw Bedtime's video and I only saw like the first 5 minutes because I got pissed off. The dude was fucking glazing the shit out of, he was dick riding Dana White pretty much. He was like, I don't have problems, this is it. Shut the fuck up, bro. Shut the fuck up. The sport is literally being killed right in front of our eyes. The sport is literally turning into boxing. At this point, I might just fucking start watching boxing. I might just start watching the WWE. Why am I even watching this shit anymore? 1, the UFC has no planning. 2, what the fuck is this? I mean, I have no words. I'm just crashing out essentially. This is what is happening. I'm fucking crashing out. You know? The rest of the card is fucking great. It's awesome. But what the fuck is this? What is that? And you know, I woke up this morning, and I woke up and I woke up this morning, I wake up, I open my Instagram, and I'm like, oh, Paddy versus Gaethje, oh nice, they finally announced the fight. Then I scroll, and it's Amanda Nunes versus Kayla Harrison, and I'm like, usually when they put the main event first, and then the co-main, and then the other fights on the main card. So I'm like, maybe they did a mistake, and Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes was supposed to be the slide before. And then I slide back, and then I look, interim championship fight. My whole mood was fucking ruined. I don't know how I can put it into words. I crashed out, but I didn't crash out. Like, I didn't do anything physically, or I didn't express it, I didn't scream, or I didn't do anything. But internally, I was crashing the fuck out. This dude, this is this is Paddy Pimlet being in the top five is Dana White privilege. Paddy getting a interim title shot, that's not Dana White privilege. That's just bias. What they should have done was Paddy versus Gaethje. Ilya comes back mid-year. Arman fights Ilya. Paddy, the winner of Paddy versus Gaethje, fights the winner of Holloway versus Charles for a number one contender fight. And then the winner of that fights the winner of Arman versus Ilya, or the champion. This was so fucking easy to do, but they didn't have a headliner. And you know what? I would have been fine with Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes as a headliner. Sure, it would have caused problems and shit, but you know, now that it's announced, they can't even take it back, because they can't just be like, oh, well, I'm sorry. Dana White can't just go on a live be like, oh, I'm sorry. You guys are pissed off with the Paddy Gaethje interim title thing. Fuck it, we'll just cancel. They can't do that either. It's gonna happen. And that's why I'm saying the petition to boycott this shit is important. It's necessary. When Paramount realizes that when they signed the contract with the UFC, this is the shit they will be putting out, and then Paramount gets pissed off, and then the UFC has to answer a bunch of things. It's gonna be very problematic for the UFC and Dana White and whatnot. I think they would have been just better off doing this as a co-main event and having Amanda Nunes versus Kayla Harrison be the main event. These motherfuckers like made Sean O'Malley versus Merab too. They can definitely pull off Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking, but enough with my crash out. I think you guys understand my opinion. I think you guys understand what I want to do by boycotting all of this. I think you guys understand where I stand in this. And there's gonna be probably another video with me making a video about the petition and shit, and why Arman should leave the UFC and just join PFL at this point. But yeah, that's it. That's the crash out, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next one.